Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Trevor the Musical. This is a 2022 release. This is actually, it came out in June on Disney Plus, but it was actually filmed in New York City in January 2022. So it's like maybe a year old. I tried to find the exact date it was filmed, but I couldn't find it. But yeah, this thing might be exactly a year old. Yay. Anyway, this is obviously a musical, hence the name. But this is all about Trevor, and it's an hour and 53 minutes long, and it is very much looks and feels and is produced like a really high quality high school musical. No, not the one with Zac Efron. No, that's a lot of highly produced lip syncing over big actual physical locations kind of performance. This is actually done. This is the filming of an actual musical. Everybody's got mics on. They even have the weird vocal mics that stick on their head. It looks like they've all got like their East Indian dot thing going on there. But because it was disconcerting. I don't go to a lot of musicals, but it's I'd never seen that so prominently before. Was that so prominent in Hamilton? I saw Hamilton on here. Is it like that? Because, I mean, that's a big state. That's Broadway. I mean, it's a big deal. But this is, I don't know where this was filmed, but it's a smaller stage, and it's produced as if it kind of was a high school level musical, but the production value is a whole lot better. The set design, the way it moves around and stuff is kind of cool, but not too flashy. Because I think that's part of the aesthetic. I think it's meant to feel like it was something that you could possibly have seen in a high school musical setting. But, man, in 1981, when this takes place, you could have never had this musical, even in New York City in 1981. Yeah, the subject matter is kind of obvious. It's a gay coming-of-age story. And Trevor is that young teenage boy. I guess he's a junior high level. I'm guessing maybe 9th grade, something like that. And he's very much into Diana Ross. More than any straight boy would be. And that's why, because he's not. And so, yeah, everybody kind of blows it off as him just being weird. And by the way, the word gay I don't think is said in this. The F word, not four-letter F word, is said in this, but to describe him, the F word, at one point. But the word gay is not used. If it is, it's used once, and I missed it. So, but throughout this, he's just weird. His best friend doesn't pick up on it. The girl, one of his female best friend, who kind of likes him, she doesn't pick up on it. But the kids who don't like him, kids who don't know him, well, yeah, there's a special level of cruelty reserved for gay kids when it comes to people like that, especially in the 80s. And I saw it firsthand, and it's nothing I'm proud of, but there's a lot of kids that I knew back then who treated another kid, different grade than mine, with unrelenting hatred, with unrelenting cruelty. I'm sad to say, and called him gay when nobody was gay in my small town. This kid was definitely gay. He was very much kind of a recurring star in the musicals that we put on, and he was talented, and he got picked on a lot, and we were friends, but I think I could have been a better friend. So yeah, it's he's grown up now. He's good, I think, as far as I know. I don't see him very often. I don't live back in my hometown anymore, but yeah, he's good. He's really bulked up because he got picked on a lot. He's this really jacked guy. So yeah, hey, stay healthy. Anyway, about the musical, Trevor, obviously, he's coming to terms with a number of things. He's, obviously doesn't like being in gym class with some of the other kids, especially a certain boy named Pinky, who he has a bit of a crush on. A very handsome young man. By the way, Holden Hagelberger is Trevor, and he is fantastic. He is actually, again, there's no pauses or cuts or edits or voiceovers or anything else when it comes to this performance. Maybe they filmed it a few times and they edited together the best bits from all of them. I have no idea, but it flows really well. Holden he's a force to be reckoned with in this thing. Hopefully there's a lot of big stuff coming his way as he gets older. He's got that kind of he kind of has this awkward body type. You can see, here he looks like he's a 35-year-old guy, but he's not. He's kind of awkward. He's kind of a little chubby here, and he's just. There's a lot of awkwardness in this, and it's bad enough when you're straight. Can you just imagine when you're gay in a time when gay is just unheard of? There's some people I looked at. I should never look at comments, but they're like, "Oh, this is just so stereotypical and cliche and everything else." You know what? Yeah, yes, certain elements are, but if somebody's journey nobody's journeys are exactly the same. Then the person who commented negatively was gay. But the experience growing up, 1981 versus 91 versus 2001 versus 2011 versus now are all completely different. This is a period in time in the early 80s when we were still before the AIDS epidemic, before it became widely known. But this is before gay people became even more hated in some ways. But yeah, it's as we all know. I don't even have to explain this to a lot of you. It's the problems that people have with Trevor come out of their own fears, their own insecurities, and Trevor does his best to be himself. I love Diana Ross, who, by the way, played by Diana Ross. Music is featured all throughout this, and she's played by Yasmin Suleiman, and she is fantastic. She's got the look, she's got the style, and the how she moves and the voice. She's just fantastic throughout this. She shows up at big turning point moments throughout Trevor's story. And you often find him singing along with her at different points. By the way, the singing here is good. It's really good. It's not going to be the pitch perfect moments you get in High School Musical. In other musicals you'll find on Disney Plus, because that is all studio processed and it's arranged, and they can always do the best take. This is actually in the raw, right in the moment type of performance. So it's not always perfect sounding, and that's great. That's awesome, because it's these kids are giving it their all, so it's kind of exciting. So yeah, by the way, right at the very beginning there is a warning that this does feature suicidal ideation, and well, I will tell you this the musical does end on a happy note. It is, so if you're worried about that kind of thing, you'd be like, oh no, it's going to be tragic and sad and everything else. No, yes, it gets to a very dark place. And yes, there is a point when things go very, very wrong after seemingly going very, very right. And Trevor is not in a good place. And he gets really low at one point. And so it's something to watch out for if that's the kind of thing that's triggering to some people. But it's mostly, for the most part, it's fun, it's funny, and they're not afraid to poke fun at certain characters and certain ideas about certain people. And Mom and Dad are really fun. Mom and Dad seem really familiar to me. For a moment, I think the dad, the coach, and the priest were all played by the same guy. Maybe I'm wrong, but anyway, this is mostly cast with kids beyond Diana Ross's character, Yasmin, and Mom and Dad, and all the roles that Dad played. The actor who played Dad played. So yeah, it's a lot of singing, a lot of dancing. It's a musical. So what do you expect? I really can't tell you. But if you want to see something that can be inspirational for a lot of kids, but it's not without its dark side, because it's maybe kids can just come out at high school these days and go, hey, you know what? I'm gay. Kids can do that, and they can do that in California. They may not be able to do them in the deep Midwest. I have no idea. 1981. Yeah. So, yeah, it's not that cruelty for some has not gone away today. It still exists in many places. I think this can serve as a reminder that just because you're weird doesn't mean you shouldn't be around, that you shouldn't exist. It means that that's okay. It's okay to be different. So yeah, I don't need to overstate that, but it's true. So if you're out there, if you're looking for something, if you might be gay, and if you know somebody who's gay, you want to understand what they might be going through or might have gone through when they were young, struggling with this. This is a pretty good musical to enjoy. So I say give it a shot. Let's pick tomorrow's episode.
326.
It took a little while saying it there. 326. 326. Oh, well, this is a short one. I got a short. We have a Donald Duck short. And I don't know what this is, but it's probably one of the old ones. We're going to be watching Out of Scale. Out of Scale. Featuring Donald Duck on the next Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.